Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 60377, Explorer Diving Boat from the LEGO City theme. This set contains 182 pieces, 3 minifigures, as well as 4 molded animals, and retails for $39.99 in the US, as well as $29.99 in Europe. This set was sent to me by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. So there's two main builds in this set. We have this actual boat right here, then there's also a little bit of ocean terrain. We're going to start by taking a look at the boat itself. This boat uses like this giant molded raft piece for the base, and I know these have been coming in sets for quite a few years now, but personally this is my first time getting it. And I have to say it does work quite well. It's not as fun as when something's entirely brick built because that just feels more Lego-like to me, but this is effective at what it wants to be. You can see the color scheme of the boat is largely white, orange, and blue, and that's the color scheme of the Explorers in this LEGO City Wave. There's quite a few different sets that use that exact same color scheme, so it makes them all line up really nicely. There's a few printed parts of the set. For example, we've got like this globe logo on the top of the boat right here. If we open up this windshield right here as well, there's a printed part for like the control console at the front of the boat. And then on the back there's this little Medicine Pack which has like this cross symbol on it. I believe that comes in quite a few LEGO City sets, but still nice to see here. But yeah, coming back to the front, if we actually open this windshield up, you can see there's quite a bit of room in there. It's meant to only seat one minifigure, but if you like cram them in there, you could probably fit 2 or even 3. There's a Greg crate piece behind that where you can store extra accessories when you're not using them. And then at the very back of the boat, you can see there's more floor space where we could store the other minifigures that come in this set. Speaking of the minifigures in the set, 2 of them are divers, and the other one's the one that drives the boat. And these little bits on the side are actually the places for the divers to dive off the boat, which I actually quite like. So if we take one of the diver minifigures, we can slot them in here like this. And of course do the same thing with the other one on the other side. And there you go, now they're standing on the edge of the boat, and then if you want them to dive into the water, you just push them off like this. And obviously this boat's not floating on water, so he has nowhere to go. But that's of course all up to your own imagination. But then at the back of the boat, you can see there's the medicine pack that I mentioned. You can see there's a detachable syringe accessory if you want to give that to one of the minifigures. There's also a robot arm back here, and this can be moved and articulated a little bit. I forgot to point this out earlier, but this is yet another printed piece, this blue piece with black stripes on it, and I think that's really cool and could be useful in like custom builds and whatnot. But yeah, you can see the arm can be spun a full 360 degrees. And then there's also 2 points of articulation that can move it up and down. One at the base right there, and then one up a little bit higher. So honestly, pretty good range of motion there. You can pretty much make this do whatever you want. You can see there's a little chain at the end of the robot arm, and that's where you attach this. This is a mini submarine for diving. I guess it just goes down underwater and takes pictures of everything, and it stays with the divers when they go. This is super cute. It's got like a Tech gear at the back to represent a little propeller, 2 robot arms with clips at the end so you can actually grab onto accessories. And then once again, there's yet another printed part with that logo for the Explorers. And there's even bar pieces on the side, so if you want the divers to hold on to this while they go underwater, they can. But yeah, that attaches onto the chain just like this, and then you can have the robot arm actually lower the submarine into the water. You can also sort of store the submarine in the section back here. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it does sort of slot in, like it's not going to fall out of place, so if you want easier to transport it without it connected to the back, that is an option you have. Yeah, that's how it looks fully pushed down. But personally, I just prefer to have it like dangling off the back like this. And that just leaves this the space for like the divers to get ready and whatnot. And I think that's all for the boat. In my opinion, solid little build. Like, it looks good for what it wants to be, but it's not overly complex. Very simple as all LEGO City builds are. But the colors look nice, it's got some good printed parts, and I love all the space there is to store minifigures and accessories and everything. Definitely not my favorite part of the set, but that doesn't make it bad by any means. I still think it's solid. And then the other build in the set is a little bit of underwater terrain, and I absolutely love this build. It's small, but it is so cute, and there's so many fun pieces used here. Starting on this side, you can see there's this sparkly pink dome piece, which might be an all-new recolor for this set. I'm not positive on that, but it looks really cool. That's a color that's typically used in like LEGO Dots and LEGO Friends, and not too often outside of those themes. So in a LEGO City set especially, that really stands out and looks so good. It just looks like some sort of sea life. I really like it. Moving up, we have a bit of coral. This is coral in the teal color, which was originally used in Ninjago Seabound, and then it's also been reused in LEGO Monkey Kid. But still, that's a very fun color for that part. You can also see there's a bit of sea life coming off of it with this fish right here. Then we have the steering wheel to a pirate ship, which I suppose is meant to be like from a sunken ship. I think that's a lot of fun. Little crab up here too, and then this piece is really cool. This is a mop piece upside down. Now that piece in that color is actually used in one other set, the Dragon of the East Palace from LEGO Monkey Kid. Again, in the same exact way to be like a bit of seagrass or something, but wow, it just looks super cool. That's a perfect recolor and just such a fun one too. I'm really happy there's a second way to get that part because that just looks awesome. On the other side, another piece of coral, though this time in the actual coral color, and then this time there's a bluefish coming off of it. And then finally at the very end right here we have a treasure chest which can be removed as well as opened up, and inside you can see there's a golden chalice as well as 3 printed gold coins. A 4th coin is also present on the build underneath where the chest was, and you can see it's got this printed design with a crown on it. This was originally introduced for a LEGO minifigure series I think a year or 2 ago, but it's really nice to see these have become LEGO's just like standard coins now, and it's really cool to get so many in this set. But yeah, you can see the chest was just attached to this jumper piece right here, and it's very easy to reconnect it. And I think that's everything on the builds in this set. However, we are far from done, because while we do have to look at the minifigures, first I want to take a look at the most exciting part of this set, and that is of course the sea life, the animals. So the first animal in the set is Stingray, and while the molded piece is not new for this set, we have gotten Stingrays in previous sets before. This is an all-new print for this set, with a completely different spot pattern. These guys are really cool, I like them a lot. I remember seeing them in the Ninjago Seabound sets a couple years ago, obviously with a different print, but they were really cool in that, and I'm happy to get them again. Really cool that LEGO's like varying the printing too, and is not just printing the same exact Stingrays over and over again, just creates more variance in your LEGO world. But my favorite part about these guys for sure is the studs on the top of their head, because then you can have a minifigure actually ride on the Stingrays. Which that may not be advisable to do in real life, but in LEGO form that's just so much fun. I really love that. Yeah, this guy's super cute, however he's also probably the least interesting of all the printed animals in this set, so now let's move on to the next one. Just like the Stingray, this isn't our first time getting a LEGO Hammerhead Shark, however this is an all-new recolor and all-new print for this set. Previously he was made in sand blue, but in this set he's light gray, and yeah, I think he looks awesome. He uses the same standard shark body that all the LEGO sharks use, though with a completely different headpiece. I think the molding on the head here is incredible. I love the printed eyes on both sides, and he just looks so funny when he opens his mouth up like that. I think these guys are so much fun for play. I remember loving the classic sharks as a kid, and having an even wackier variant available for so cheap is so nice to see. Not a ton else to say on this one because he is just gray, but I do think he's really good. And then here are the final two creatures in the set, two sea turtles. We have an adult sea turtle and a baby sea turtle, and these ones are the best ones in the set in my opinion. Now the baby sea turtle again is not new for this set. The printing and colors are all new, but the mold is not. It's come in previous sets before. But the adult sea turtle is all new, and I love how this guy looks. You can see his dual mode in bright green as well as nougat for his shell, and the sculpting on everything here is incredible. I love how there's a stud on top. It helps this guy feel like a LEGO figure and also allows minifigures to ride on top of him, which again is awesome. But more importantly, it also allows the baby turtle to ride on top of him, and look how cute that is. Like, is that not the best thing ever? You can see the adult sea turtle has 4 anti-studs in the bottom, while the baby sea turtle only has 1. These two just both look amazing. They're the perfect way to spice up the sea life in your LEGO world. Now here are the first two minifigures in the set. We have 2 divers, 1 female and 1 male. And you can see both figures are almost identical. The only difference is their face prints because they're both in the exact same diving suits. I think these diving suits all around are pretty solid. They are on the simpler end of things a little bit, but that's not a bad thing per se. And you can see they've got that same color scheme of the orange with the dark blue and that lighter blue color. A bit of metallic printing too for this belt, and I guess what's probably the air tank coming down. And then they use this like slightly more mechanical looking helmet piece with these goggles on top of it, with like little snorkels coming out the sides. And then at the very back they have the classic space air tanks in orange. So yeah, I think it all comes together quite nicely. The goggles and snorkel can be moved up so you can see the minifigure's face prints if you want, but if you remove their helmets completely, you can get a much better look at them. The female face print I actually think is really good. It's the same one that was used on one of the minifigures in the gaming tournament truck from earlier this year, and I remember when I got that set, I was like, oh wow, this is a really good face print for a LEGO City set, and yeah, I'm happy to see it's coming on more minifigures. You can see she's just got like a very confident smile on one side, and then she does have an alternate face on the other side where she's just like a little bit worried or concerned. LEGO City figures often don't have alternate faces at all, as you can see with the male figure over here, so it's nice that she does have 2 expressions, and I think both are great. There's a look at the back torso print for these figures too, where you can see there's just like a zipper on the swimsuit. And then the male figure's face I think is fine. It's been coming in sets for a few years now, so it's not all too exciting to me in my opinion. Like, it's good, he's got like cheekbones and whatnot, but it's not the most expressive. I don't get a ton of personality out of this guy. But for just like a generic civilian, I suppose it works. So 2 fairly good minifigures all around. I'm quite happy with them. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that the male minifigure comes with the camera as an accessory, while the female minifigure doesn't come with anything. So yeah, I guess you can imagine he's using this to take pictures of the wildlife. Oh, and one more thing I actually forgot to mention is these figures also come with alternate hair pieces in this set, which is super nice to see. The female minifigure comes with a short blue hair, which actually has become quite common in LEGO City as of recent. I feel like there's a lot of sets that come with this exact blue hair piece, but even still, blue hair is something we don't see all too often, so it is a good one to get. And then the male minifigure has the slick back blonde hair. And then the final minifigure in the set is the woman who's supposed to be driving the boat. You can see she's got like a life vest on in case she falls overboard. It's good that she's being safe. I also really like the hairpiece they chose for her. This hairpiece has become quite common nowadays, however it is one of LEGO's newer hairpieces, so it makes me happy to see it's coming in so many sets because it's just a really useful one to have. Incredibly detailed with tons of texture to it, like they went all out when designing it. And then her face print I think is alright. I'm happy to see an older woman face without glasses because we don't get that all too often. However, something about this face just seems a little bit off to me. Maybe the mouth's like slightly too low compared to normal minifigures, but it just comes off to me as like the slightest bit uncanny, like there's something that should be different about it. I'm not sure exactly what that is. But then if we remove the life vest piece, you can see her full torso print where she's also got some diving gear on. I actually quite like the design of that. That looks quite good. I much prefer the white on this figure to the dark blue that the other minifigures wear. I'm actually really impressed by that color combination, and the silver fits in there so well too. And then turning her around, very simple back torso print, not too much going on there. Unfortunately, no leg printing on her, but it's LEGO City, we don't get leg printing all too often. In fact, it's actually a little bit impressive that the divers came with leg printing. But yeah, I'd say all around this is a very solid minifigure. I'm quite happy with her. And so, overall, what do I think of this set? Well, once again, it comes down to the price, because I think this is a fantastic set, and I love how you get so much here, specifically with all those animals. The boat is fine. Like, if you want a LEGO City boat, this is solid for what it wants to be. But if you're you're looking for a more complex build, there's definitely better sets out there. However, I quite like the underwater terrain, but the highlight of this set is for sure all the different animals you get. Those are amazing. But yeah, the price is the biggest issue with this set, because this is only 182 pieces. Which, if you're going by price per part, this should be a $20 set. However, having the set in hand, the boat does use one pretty large part, you get all these unique molded animals, so I understand like $30 for this set. However, this set is $40 in the US. It's only €30 in the parts of Europe that use the euro, which when converted to USD translates to $32 or $33 in the US. So I think in Europe, this is a good set to pick up. Definitely not a must-have, but if you want like a bunch of animals for a fairly decent price, I'd say €30 is a perfectly good price for this. But in America, probably wait until this goes at least 20% off, because I don't think $32 is a bad price for this, but $40 just feels like asking way too much, because the build is not big enough to justify $40, and while the animals and minifigures are cool, they're not cool enough to justify that price. Of course, there's other places in the world that don't use USD or Euro, so you'll have to make your own judgment of value for yourself. But if this set's a good price in your country and you like what you see here, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But if the price is closer to the American price, yeah, I don't think you can really justify it. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!